Penguin Random House Audio presents The Trying Game. Get through fertility treatment and get pregnant without losing your mind. This is the author, Amy Klein. Prologue. Drip, drip, drip. I watch the pink drops plunk into the toilet, seeing all my hopes and dreams go down the drain with them. I'm not injured, it's just my period. Just. I'd never been a big fan of my monthly menstrual cycle, the terrible cramps, the raging hormones, my bloated stomach, and, let's face it, all the mess. But when trying to conceive, my period meant one thing: I wasn't pregnant. There were many, many months I wasn't pregnant, and it wasn't pretty. Staring down at the stained toilet water as salty tears tumbled down my face, the pain overwhelmed me. Stabbing jabs from my stomach reminded me, no, you're not going to be a mom yet. I felt so alone. My friends who are mothers told me to keep trying and relax and have patience, because it took them an incredibly long time to get pregnant. 3 months? Sure, I had a husband, but he didn't want to talk about this subject 24/7. Yes, I would have talked about it for 247 hours if there were that many in a day. I did not know where to turn. At the bookstore, I eyed pregnancy books longingly, hoping I'd expect to be expecting soon. But I couldn't find much on the subject of trying to and not getting pregnant. Online, I found a ton of fertility boards with WHLA, women who love acronyms, something I just made up to show you how annoying it can be when they talk about TTC with DH and their 2WW after their BD before they POAS, hoping for magic baby dust. That means trying to conceive with dear husband and their 2-week wait after their baby dance, i.e. sex, before they peed on a stick, took a pregnancy test. These women had a lot to say with excellent emoticons and cutesy GIFs, but no real helpful tips. On the other end of the spectrum, I found incredibly technical scientific information online about fertility, such as the study, mutations in an oocyte-derived growth factor gene cause increased ovulation rate and infertility in a dosage-sensitive manner. Yet, even with my health and science journalism background, I couldn't always decipher what all the studies meant or what their practical applications were, if they had any at all. I just wanted someone to tell me how ovulation strips actually worked. Did they? When it was time to go to a fertility doctor, and how to react to my friend's in-your-face pregnancy announcement. Do not throw Tupperware at your partner, trust me. That's why I started writing about my quest to get pregnant for the New York Times Motherlode blog. I couldn't find anyone discussing the process in a straightforward, acronym-free manner. I also couldn't find someone objective who wasn't shilling product or program like, get pregnant with maca wheatgrass royal jelly in 3 easy steps. Here's an embarrassing confession. When I started writing the Fertility Diary column, my New York Times editor and I thought I'd write about trying to get pregnant for a bit, and then transition over to regular pregnancy issues. Probably 3 to 6 months, she said. Ha! How naive we both were about fertility treatment. There are so many different ways to be not pregnant. You can be younger with endometriosis or older with not enough eggs. Your husband can have slow sperm. Don't tell him that, though. Or you may not have a partner involved at all. You can get pregnant and not stay pregnant. You might have a kid already but have trouble conceiving another. Or you simply might not know what is wrong, if there's anything wrong at all, except for the fact that you are still not pregnant. I wasn't one of those women who always knew she wanted to be a mother, especially after leaving my traditional Jewish community, where most of my friends had kids by age 25. It was only after I married Solomon at 41 and found myself pregnant a week later that I realized I really wanted to have a child. Over the next 3 years, I had 10 doctors, 9 rounds of IVF, 4 miscarriages, 3 acupuncturists, 2 rabbis, 1 Reiki healer, 5 insurance companies, 2 egg donors, thousands of pills, shots, supplements, and Band-Aids, an amazing repeat pregnancy loss specialist, and 1 real live baby. 1 beautiful baby. Don't worry, this is not a book about how I got that baby. Everyone thinks that what they did to get pregnant is what you should do. But there's no one way for all of this to work. I've eaten dozens of pineapple cores, immersed myself in a Jewish ritual bath, and had so many pins in me I thought I'd entered a bloodletting clinic instead of an acupuncturist's office. I'm not going to talk about the one way to get pregnant or flood you with statistics that you can find on every clinic's website. I just want to help you. I myself didn't have much help. I didn't know which doctor to see, what tests to have done, and why I should seek outside support. I messed up along the way, choosing the wrong type of treatment, starting a supplement regimen too late, telling too many people when I was pregnant, and not trusting my own instincts or my husband's when we went down the wrong road. Yes, Solomon's right sometimes, but don't tell him I said that. That's why I'm writing this book. I want to share with you all that I've learned. I don't want you to make the same mistakes I did, and I want to save you from some of my trial and error. I may not have done every single treatment, egg freezing, surrogacy, or had every diagnosis, endometriosis, PCOS, but I've been there. I've been through it all emotionally. From starting off as an optimistic woman, blissfully ignorant about my own fertility, positive I would get pregnant as soon as I started trying, which I did, but to no avail, to becoming someone who quickly got a med school-like education in reproductive endocrinology, which is what fertility doctors practice. I went from someone who could picture every detail of her own labor to a despairing woman who didn't even know if she would ever have a baby. From feeling lucky in love to wondering if my marriage would even survive this endless roller coaster. From believing that I was #blessed to begrudging every other pregnant woman on the street. Look, I'm not a doctor, an embryologist, an acupuncturist, or a healer, but I know all types of experts in the field, people I trust and have worked with personally, or as a journalist asking for advice. When I don't know something, I let them tell me the answer, or unanswer, since there is no one answer, and you have to do what works for you. Still, this is not a medical textbook. While I will discuss some procedures you may need to look into, supplements you may want to ask your naturalist about, or diagnoses you may want to investigate, in no way can I give medical advice. But I can guide you through the overwhelmingly technical and excruciatingly emotional process of trying. And hopefully I can point you in the right direction so you can get the best medical care without too much confusion, frustration, or isolation. The truth is, most people won't understand what you're going through. If they've never struggled with getting pregnant or never wanted kids in the first place, they may make you feel like you're being overly emotional, overwrought, over something. At least you can get pregnant, someone told me after a loss. I wanted to punch her in the face and tell her, well, at least you know you have blood in your body since it's coming out of your nose. But I didn't. I complained to another friend who said, nobody will say the right thing right now. And somehow that made me feel better. Really, I just want to make you feel better. Of course, I want to make you a parent, but since that's not in my power, I want to make you feel less alone. I want you to know your options every step of the way, and I want to help you feel more informed and therefore more sane. I may not always have the answers, but at least I know the questions to ask. I'll talk to experts. I'll tell you stories about women in the trenches. I'll tell you my story when it helps. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes baby in the baby carriage. That's what we've been taught to expect. But life doesn't always turn out the way we hoped. Sometimes we get what we want, but not how we want it. Let's face it, no one ever says, I dream of having my eggs extracted and mixed with my husband's sperm in a test tube to create a baby. I hope you will be able to get through this without losing your mind, your friends, your partner, and your entire life. No one wants to be trying, but I hope I can at least make this stressful time a little less trying. Section 1. Getting your eggs together. Chapter 1. Oh shoot, am I infertile? Ali Wong in Baby Cobra says, when my husband and I were trying to have a kid, a lot of people were like, oh my God, that's so hot. You guys are doing a lot of effing. You know
Sample complete. Ready to continue?